Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Lucore Automotive. It is Hot Rod Power Tour 2023 prep time, and things have changed. As you can see, I have a brand new America S hat, which means it's pretty close to leaving. In fact, it's Friday. We're leaving Sunday for Atlanta, which is about 9.5 hours, generally in that direction. Looks like the weather's actually going to be pretty good this year. We're not going to be driving on the face of the sun. Looks like it's going to be in the mid 80s, which is cool. Might actually even get a little bit of rain this year, which is going to be interesting. Last year was terribly hot, but it was a lot of fun. Had a lot of good times, met a lot of great people. But this year, we just had some complications pop up. We originally were going to take a couple different vehicles. We were going to take my AMX, the 1979 AMX that you guys have seen. We're also going to take the 1965 C10 shop truck that's up there in the front. However, we've been so busy because of all you wonderful people out there, we haven't really had a chance to work on that car. We were planning on doing a posi upgrade, putting the rest of the floors in it, putting the bed in it, and doing a 5-speed upgrade to make it more street drivable or highway drivable, but we never had a chance to get that done. So, plan B was this car, which is my 1970 Pontiac LeMans 455. So, however, the person that was going to drive either plan A or plan B, Mr. Jim, is no longer coming on Power Tour. He's had some other things come up, so he's not going to be able to come with us. So I have a decision to make. I got to figure out whether or not I want to take that car on Power Tour, or if I want to take my 1979 AMX, which is similar to that car, but better-ish better. So we need to talk about this, and I need your input because you guys are going to help me decide on what's going on, and I got to tell you honestly what all we got to do to get either of them ready to go for Power Tour. So stick around. Anybody who's been paying attention to this channel for any length of time, you know both of these cars. For those of you who don't, welcome to the channel. Like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of jazz. I'm going to be doing, again, daily videos on Power Tour as we make all of the stops, and along the way, enjoying the whole process and taking you guys along with me on the ride. But that's not what we're here for today. Today we got to figure out what I've got to fix between now and the end of day tomorrow to get ready to go on this Power Tour journey. So, 1970 Pontiac 455. Yonder. Makes like 515 foot-pounds of torque. Pretty good vehicle. Don't let the air conditioning fool you. It doesn't have functional air conditioning. It does have a little bit of a crankcase pressurization issue right now, where it has been pressurizing the breathers and pushing oil out, which I haven't had a chance to work on yet, but is an issue. It does have four-wheel drum brakes. However, I have an issue with a brake line that is actually leaking going to the rears. So it currently has two-wheel drum brakes, which is the front two. I don't really need the rear brakes anyway, right? Plus, it's better for burnouts. Sounds great, makes great noises. Full pipes exhaust on it. It's got a positive traction rear end, 336 rear gears. So it's pretty decent for the highway. Cruises comfortably at like 70-ish. Gets about 14-ish miles to the gallon, depending on how much I tromp on it. It is a quadrijet. It is a bench seat car, so there's, room for relaxing. It does have an entire roof on it. The floors are entirely there, so it's pretty comfortable. And especially in 80-degree heat, no big deal, right? So this is kind of option one. I got to figure out the brake issue. I've got to figure out the oil coming out my breather issue, because otherwise I'm just evaporating $12 a quart oil out of this thing. Doesn't have air conditioning, does have power steering, comfortable, great car, sounds good, looks good. Maybe not quite as rowdy and crazy looking as the AMX, but it's a great vehicle. Also, you may notice that it does have a different set of wheels on it now. Kerry, who's going with me in his 1967 Pontiac GTO, stole my wheels off of this to put on his 67 GTO because they are Pontiac Rally 2 wheels. In order to make this car drivable with him stealing my wheels, he then stole my wheels off of my 1968 Pontiac LeMans, which you guys have never really seen, that was wearing those Riddler wheels. And it's got 245s in the front, 275s in the rear. But it's just been sitting back here in the field of forgotten dreams. We hasn't had a chance to work on it in forever. So he took those wheels off, put those on his car, took the wheels that were on his 67 GTO, which were consequently also mine, and put them on that car, which is my 1968 Pontiac LeMans, which you guys haven't ever seen. We're not going to talk about it right now because we don't have time for that. But this has now got the little 14-inch guys. It's got a square set of wheels and tires on it. So, brand new set of wheels and tires. They've just been sitting in the backyard on that car for the last 3 years. So, tires are good. Transmission's brand new-ish. Motor's only got 5,000 miles on it or so. Took it on Power Tour last year. Took it to No Name Nationals on it. So it's probably got like 8,000 miles on it. But it's in good shape as long as I can figure out my brake issue and my oil pressurization issue, which should be no big deal. Probably just a PCV valve, hopefully. But shouldn't be a big deal. Comfortably cruising. So that's one option I can take. And I do actually genuinely want your input on this. I want you guys to tell me what it is you want to see me take. What do you want me to work on tomorrow to get ready to go on this trip? So, option 2 is going to be the AMX. Give me a second. Option 2, 1979 AMC Speed AMX. Again, obviously, if you pay any attention to this channel, you know this vehicle. End of the rear-wheel drive stick shift V8 AMCs. This is a particularly cherry example of one. Not at all. But it's a ton of fun. It is still powered by an AMC 304 V8. Up until very recently, it was also a 4-speed, factory 4-speed car. It has now been upgraded to a 5-speed with a T5 out of a Mustang. Right yonder. Which has done a fantastic job of making this a much more cruisable vehicle. It now gets comfortable cruising speed around 80, 90, and also gets about 19 to 20 miles per gallon, which is awesome. So it means I'm going to use a lot less fuel. It does need slightly retuned at the lower RPMs because it's a little bit over fueling, and we do have a dyno right there, so we could probably do that in-house. Unfortunately, we don't really have time for that. So I'm going to have to drive it as is. I'm not going to really mess with the jets or anything on the road, but it is an option. So our youngster here is actually swapping out my differential cover on the back here because we also did recently put a positive traction rear end in this thing. And by positive traction rear end, I mean we took another rear end from another vehicle and just stuck it in this one and transferred over my bits. But we've got a new diff cover for it because the diff cover that came with this one was leaking. It does have a new pinion seal already in it. Here's my new sexy differential cover. So this thing is fun. It's kind of fast. It sounds good. It looks cool. Everybody loves it. It is hot as Hades to drive because it is a black car with some pretty questionable floors. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but up that way is the transmission tunnel, and you can kind of see into the car, which does generate quite a lot of heat because there's exhaust and transmission, and there's the inside. Also, the floors are not, you know, entirely there. That's the inside of the car. So it does have DEI heat wrap on the headers that you can see there. We heat wrapped those last year with the DEI guys. And it does have their heat mitigation, heat shielding stuff on the floors on the inside, which is great because it's actually, that probably saved my life last year when we were driving on the face of the sun. But it's still hot. It's still a black car. It's still hot. Also, at the moment, we only really have one functional gauge in the car, and that one doesn't really matter. They did put my speedometer cable in earlier today, so I at least have a speedometer so I know how fast I'm speeding. I have no tach. I have no oil pressure gauge. I have no functional fuel gauge or temperature gauge, which is a little nerve-wracking, but I do have the things to fix that. Oh, and I almost forgot, I also need to put new lug studs and lug nuts in this thing. But I have things here. So here's my bag of Jegs goodies, right? So I've got new longer lug studs. I've also got new lug nuts, so I can replace all the lug nuts and lug studs. I've also got this little crappy doohickey job here with a coolant temp gauge, a charging O-meter, and an oil pressure gauge, so I can at least, you know, see gauges of things. And we can get all that stuff done tomorrow. That's not major surgery. So that way I would actually have functional gauges. I do have a tack in it. I can just wire that up to the tack signal and get that done. Everything else with this car is pretty good. Though the fact that it shows like nuclear heat on my temp gauge that doesn't really read. We did upgrade to the new PRW water pump in this thing, and that's done a great job of keeping it cool. I have driven the absolute heck out of this thing, and it doesn't really ever have any problems with overheating. And we have a gigantic Champion radiator in the front, and it, again, doesn't have any problems with overheating. So it is still the 304 that we had in it last year. It's a 60 over 304, about 9.5 to 1, a little on the 9 side. So stout, but nothing crazy. Runs on pump gas, 19 miles per gallon. Pretty good idea. This has made both the 2021 and 2022 power tours already, so this would be its third, completing the hat trick. So yeah, that sounds like a good option to me. I love the car. It's super fun. It's a bit uncomfortable. It's a bucket seat car with glass on the roof, so there's also not really any heat shielding other than the stuff on the floor. But again, it's only going to be in like the 80s, I think, this week. Does have functional lights. Does have functional wipers in case it rains or we have to drive at night. I mean, it's a good option. I like the car. I love the car. It's very recognizable. It's super fun. What to do, what to do, what to do. So, I only have a short amount of time. Like I said, it's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock on Friday. Work is wrapping up at this point in time. So all I really have is Saturday to get one of these two cars prepped fully and ready to go. So what do I want to do? What do I spend my time and energy on? What do I take? Do I take the 1979 AMC AMX? Or do I take my Pontiac LeMans? I can make an argument either way. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in our community tab here a poll where you can either vote for the Pontiac or for the AMC, and let me know what you guys think. So click over to the community tab here on our YouTube page, and let me know what you think. For those of you who are brand new to the channel, welcome aboard. Good to see you here. Thanks for being here. Hopefully you stick around. We're going to have a whole power tour adventure coming here very shortly for you. I will be doing daily videos, like I said. That is a really exhausting process, but it's kind of fun because it gives you guys a day-by-day kind of diary, video diary, blog, vlog, whatever you want to call it, of the true experience with this thing. And I'm not anybody important this year. I don't have any... I'm just going to have a normal Joe kind of experience. So hopefully you guys stick around for that. But like I said, let me know what you think. Put it in the comments. Let me know what you think. Go over to the community tab and click on that. Let me know what you think over there. What's the better option? What's the more fun option? What would you rather see me do? And don't just pick it because it's going to be horribly uncomfortable for me, and it's going to be horrible to drive or make, you know, don't put me in a horrible situation. I mean, honestly, I do love both these cars. I've driven them both crazy amounts of time. So anyway, I'm going to shut up. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Oh, merchandising. I shipped a bunch of stuff out yesterday. I shipped a bunch of stuff out today. I have a reorder of more product that's coming in, and I cannot get any more orders out before you guys will see this video. So everything that hasn't been shipped yet, if you haven't gotten a notification, has not been shipped, then I will not have it shipped until I get back. But I will get on that as soon as I get back here, hopefully on Saturday.
Can you see if Jace has a Dana 30
crush sleeve?
just a setup kit.
Yeah.
I mean, if we can just get a crush sleeve, that'd be great, but the pinion nut needs replaced, and I could use the shims, and it's looking like I might as well just
start all over.
If they have an install kit and I can pick it up, I'll go pick it up right now.
Okay, will do. Gotta go back to work, folks. Thanks for being here. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I'll see you from the road. Hot Rod Power Tour 2023.